Good morning. Today we are going to discuss one of the exciting assignment from class 10 and the topic coordination in life processes. So let us discuss one by one question. The first question, what are the two ways by which body expels waste materials? So how it will be expels the waste materials? Here there are two ways are there. So expelling of the waste materials. So expelling of waste via blood through kidneys and skin, which is that by the salts, water and the urea. So what are the excretory substances? Salts, water and the urea. So when it comes to the TOEFL, the undigested material, undigested food, which we can call it as a stool. This is sends out by the TOEFL from the anal sphincter, anus. So that is what how the body which is expels the waste materials, expelling of the waste materials via blood, kidney and the skin. If you take that, what are the excretory substances? So the waste materials are salts, water and the urea. When it comes to that of undigested food material, which we can call it as a stool, and it will be excrete out, means expels out through the anus. Let us go for that of next question. So the next question it is, what controls that exit of the stool from the body itself? Usually, as in the anus, there are two muscular layers we can find. So what is that? The muscular layers. So two muscular layers we can find out. So what are those? One is inner layer and the outer layer. So the inner layer, which is involuntary, whereas the outer means external layer. So the external layer, which is a voluntary in their function. What is the meaning of here involuntary and voluntary? Involuntary is not in our control, voluntary is in our control. So there are in the anus, there are two muscular layers are there. So one is involuntary layer, that is inner layer, whereas that outer layer, which is external layer, is a voluntary layer, and the muscular layers, muscular sphincters like, which are very useful for the opening and closing of that exit. So that we can call it as an anal sphincter. Anal sphincter. So this anal sphincter is very useful for the opening and closing of that exit. Exit means the outer opening itself. So that is what here, how this, what are the control exit of the stools from the body itself. This anal sphincter is controls that exit of the stool from the body. Let us go for that of next question. So the next question it is, what is the fate of the digested food that moves into the blood from the intestine? So after the digestion of the food material, so what happens here? The food material from the intestine, it will be absorbed by the villi itself. So from the intestine, so there are finger-like projections are there, what we can call it as villi, and these are very useful for the absorption of the food material. And this, after the absorbing of the food material, so after absorbing, enters into blood. So enters into the blood, the food material, then it has to reach that, it will reach each and every cell. Each and every cell of the body. Okay, so each and every cell. So what happens in the cell? Inside of the cell, so O2 will be there. In cell, O2 is very useful for oxidization of the food material. So whenever it is oxidization, it is done, that means it will be combines with that of oxygen molecules, then it will be go for that of releasing of energy. Comes under that respiration process, oxidization of the food materials. So what happens here? The fate of the food material, digested food material, which enters into the blood, then it will be reaches that each and every cell. There in the cell, the oxygen will be there. So there it will be happen that oxidization of the food material, then it will be releases the energy. That's all for this assignment. Thank you.